Hello and good evening from Points West. Western General Hospital has closed its A&E department and is no longer accepting new admissions after a rise in cases of coronavirus. The trust, which runs the hospital, says the decision was made to protect staff and patients. But with a rise in cases and huge numbers of people visiting the seafront today, it's led to more calls for people to stay away. Steve Nibbs reports.
As restrictions are eased across the region, Western General is now in a tighter lockdown than it was just 24 hours ago. The hospital and its A&E department now closed to new admissions. The trust said the majority of those with COVID-19 would have come into the hospital already infected, but it wouldn't confirm how many cases there were or how many people contracted the disease inside the hospital.
There may be ongoing transmission of infection from COVID to non-COVID and between COVID wards. So sometimes you have to shut not because you've run out of beds, but because you feel you are not on top of managing what you've already got in place.
2 miles away from the hospital, the beachfront at Weston was busy with visitors. Those who needed this ambulance now faced being taken to Taunton or Bristol instead. But the mix of the spike in infections and the visitors here is making locals angry. That council advice to stay away is still being ignored.
They're coming down from like Birmingham and other areas and bringing COVID-19 from like the higher rate areas down to the southwest, where actually we were quite low. We just want people to stay away and stay at home as much as possible.
The local MP, John Penrose, tweeted today that he'd spoken to health chiefs at the trust who told him the hospital will be deep cleaned before it reopens. This temporary A&E unit was also set up outside the hospital to assess patients who weren't aware of the closure. No one from the trust was available for interview. A spokesperson telling me there would be no further updates today. At the earliest, there may be something tomorrow, but stressing that the decision to close Western General was made on clinical grounds for the safety of patients and staff. Steve Nibbs, BBC Points West, Western Supermare.